I'm wondering, are you serious? Are you serious, guys? How will a Joe Biden affect the Holy Land? This is a good question. It really is. And so we need to look at that. Of course, I think they just made an announcement. I think the news media has just declared Georgia has been won by Joe Biden. I guess the count has just finished, and the news media has just called Georgia for Joe Biden. So the question is, how will Joe Biden affect the Middle East if he becomes the 46th president of the United States? That is a question that we should analyze. But first, let's put a shout out right now for www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. And look, a lot of people are experiencing younger looking skin, more vibrance, more energy, more youthful looking hair, all because of one little secret. www.healthwithpaul.com. It's ageless multi-collagen by BioTrust. You can get it at www.healthwithpaul.com. Look, thanks to ageless multi-collagen. No, there's no human collagen in this. I would never endorse that. Instead, it's plant, eggs, and fish collagen. A lot of people are looking as much as 10 years younger. It's just one scoop in the soup or in the smoothie, coffee, your cereal, oatmeal, whatever. But collagen is vital for your skin, your hair, your joints, your tendons, your bones, your gut health. And most people don't even know that their natural collagen levels are depleting about 10% every decade. Matter of fact, supplementing collagen has been the single biggest contributor to a lot of people's physical and mental cognitive health. And there's no better way to do that than with the tasteless, odorless, ageless multi-collagen. Go to www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. They cut the price 51%, and there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Well, this is the question we're asking. What and how will a Joe Biden presidency affect the Middle East if he becomes the 46th president of the United States? Let's look at it from if he becomes the 46th president. Does it make a difference whether you have Trump or Biden in the Holy Land? And that's a great question. Well, we're going to look. There's an article just came out from the Ynet News, and it's an opinion piece. They say Joe Biden has plans for Israel and the Middle East. The analysis is that the next U.S. president will likely make an effort to improve and return to the Iranian nuclear deal. They will resume ties with an aid to the Palestinian Authority while avoiding tensions with Benjamin Netanyahu that were a hallmark of the Obama era. Well, how do you avoid tensions if you return to the Iranian nuke deal and lift the sanctions off Iran? How are you going to avoid tensions? That's what will bring the tensions. But let's read on his opinion. He says, they're saying that on January 20th, 2021, if there's no second term for President Donald Trump, and if Joe Biden becomes the 46th president of the United States, this will begin a new era between the United States again and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu, who could always freely travel the world as long as he had President Donald Trump's had his back. But while the days of unlimited U.S. support are seemingly maybe changing, Biden's time in the White House will not necessarily mean that the incessant conflict between Washington and Jerusalem that was on display during the Obama era. Matter of fact, Joe Biden has no interest in confronting Israel. The long-standing personal friendship he has with Benjamin Netanyahu will allow the prime minister, if he acts carefully and responsibly, in other words, if he just doesn't say much, to maybe have an open dialogue and engage in a dignified dialogue with the White House of Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Now, Biden's term will not be a walk in the park, though, for Israel. There is still a lot of anger towards Benjamin Netanyahu, both in the Democrat Party and Biden's inner circle, over his hostility to President Obama and the friendship he had with Trump. Well, why was that? And if you guys remember, whenever Netanyahu came to the United Nations and he spoke, he just said, look, you can't allow Iran to have nuclear bomb. The Iranian nuke deal is bad. Bad deal, bad deal. Trump came in and immediately tore it up. Well, the main concern in this friction could escalate due to clashes with the people Biden appoints to deal with Israel. For instance, some of the people will no doubt be members of the former Obama administration, and they will not easily work with Netanyahu because of his 2015 speech that he gave to Congress, of which Joe Biden did not attend because Obama told him not to. In that speech, Netanyahu slammed the agreement of the Iranian nuke deal that was brokered by President Obama. The issue of others in Biden's administration will no doubt remember the incident in March of 2010 when the inner minister, Ile Yashari, announced the construction of 1,600 new settlement housing units as Biden landed in Israel. The move was perceived as Netanyahu knifing Joe Biden in the back and as an attempt to sabotage the vice president's visit. But Biden also played a part in advancing Security Council Resolution 2334. Remember that as Obama was leaving the White House on allegedly illegally of Israel's West Bank settlements in the West Bank, which was adopted by the UN on January 20th, 2017, the day Trump was being sworn in to the White House. Now, it was none other than Joe Biden who personally persuaded several world leaders, including the president of Ukraine, to support the proposal, which triggered a crisis between Jerusalem and Kiev in Ukraine. And of course, Biden and his son have a relationship with not only the Ukrainians, but the Chinese and other nations as well. Now, Biden was also the one who persuaded New Zealand to submit to the resolution to the UN Security Council after Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi withdrew his support due to the signals from Israel that he should not go against Donald Trump. So Egypt sided with Netanyahu. Biden, along with Susan Rice, Obama's then national security advisor, were responsible for a decision seen as the Obama administration's swan song. Now, a source familiar with the U.S.-Israeli relations says that Joe Biden, I lost it there. If he is sworn in as the 46th president of the United States, could see repeated criticisms of Israel's actions akin to that of one of the Obama era. And while the approach may be more subtle, the Biden administration will not support construction of Israeli settlements or other steps it perceives as harmful to a two-state solution. It is Biden's plan to finish a two-state solution in the Holy Land. So what does it mean? What does a Biden administration really, what would it mean to the Holy Land? Well, guys, it obviously is a return to the Obama foreign policy agenda for the Middle East. And that included, Biden is really behind a two-state solution or a dividing of the land of Israel, something that Trump refused to do. Instead, he moved the U.S. Embassy to the city behind me, Jerusalem, and he declared Jerusalem the capital city and eternal city of God, of the capital of Israel, besides building relationships tearing up the Iranian nuke deal, and strengthening Israel's position and resolve in the Middle East. Also, Trump was able to put together peace covenants with Israel from nations like the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and the Sudan, and the African nation of Mali, as well as Serbia and Kosovo, all having new covenants with Israel of peace. And he even got Serbia and Kosovo, who fought a bloody war during the Clinton administration, he got them to sign a peace deal with each other. He also was able to change the Middle East by driving ISIS out of the Middle East and shutting down a lot of the hostilities after he crushed ISIS. What does it all mean now when a Biden administration comes in? Well, you may see a return to a research. First of all, if Biden does what he says he's going to do, he'll reinstate the Iranian nuke deal. That will not go well with Israel for sure. That's a total change in the Holy Land, and lift sanctions off Iran, which would allow the Iranians to start selling more oil and goods and services and building up their economic situation. Does that help bring peace in the Middle East through appeasement? That's the question that history will answer. We'll wait and see if Biden is sworn in as the 46th president of the United States. And as I just said, I just announced it, that just about an hour ago, the news media has just declared Joe Biden the winner of the state of Georgia as the counts just finished. Now, there's going to be a recount in Georgia. There's going to be a recount, and so it could change. But right for now, Biden has been declared the winner of Georgia. We'll watch and see how this all plays out. And if Joe Biden goes in as the 46th president of the United States, there will be a change in the Middle East foreign policy, as well as how does that affect the Holy Land. And a shift in biblical prophecy should say to all of us, we're living in the last days. Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. Seriously. We're running out of time. And I mean, we're running out of time. Are you saved?